first of all, let's just get one term correct, because you said you do think it's a concentration camp.
I said it shares many,
Right. And you also say that there's a disproportionately heavy youth population in Gaza.
Yes.
Right.
Do you think that's not accurate?
I think the second one is accurate.
Right.
But it's a very strange thing to say that there's a population boom in a concentration camp. In Auschwitz in the 1940s, there was not a doubling of the population.
Yeah, I didn't say it was.
He didn't say it was a
death
concentration camp. He said it shares many of the characteristics.
Auschwitz was a concentration camp.
It was ultimately a death camp. No.
Yes, it started as a concentration camp.
Yes, correct.
You'll notice that people were not doubling in size their number because of the children they could have in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
So that was a weird argument.
It's weird. It's weird, right? It's weird.
It's a weird move you're doing, Smith.
So, I mean, do you want to say anything to that? Because I have some things to say.
Let her rip, Bob.
Okay. In World War II, from early 1942 to 1946, 120,000 Japanese Americans were placed inside some type of thing.
A thing, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll
An
start with the letter
unnamed
C.
thing.
And according, full disclosure, my source here is Wikipedia. I get it.
Doesn't it start with an F? It was a freedom camp, right?
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, the hospitals and the camps during this 4-year stretch recorded that there were 1,862 deaths and 5,981 births.
In a freedom camp?
Well, that fits. Yeah. So clearly it must have been a freedom camp, right? So there's that. It's funny, too, that the U.S. government was so browbeaten with the freedom camps, they ended up paying reparations and stuff when clearly. Now, I didn't go and talk to George Takei, which I should have done to know if this is true. But anyway.
What does he know about reproduction?
Yeah, people were having, well, he actually wouldn't know about having babies, but okay. Oh, my.
You see what I did there?
We're both talking over each other because we're so excited to get our zingers out. I got another one for you. In 1808, the U.S. banned the importation of slaves. And so if you think about it, the lifespan, that's why slavery basically just kind of withered away, because if you can't bring in new slaves to the southern plantation economy, the slave population would just keep going down year after year as they kept dying off, right? Is that what happened?
That was not what happened, Bob.
Were you saying they weren't enslaved?
Somehow managed to
it's got to be either... Adam, I think it's got to be either the black Americans in the southern, plantations were either slaves or they were allowed to reproduce. It can't be both. So which one was it?
I mean, you heard Douglas Murray's accent. You're going to say he knows more about logic than you?
Yes. I got one more. I'm curious if you know this, Adam. Are you familiar with, as we enter this Passover season, do you know why it is, Adam? I'm not saying this to be facetious. I actually am asking you, I don't know how much common knowledge, that Moses was raised in the Pharaoh's court. And that's partly why, and God in his sovereignty, engineered it that the leader of his people would also know the ways of royal intrigue. Do you know how that came to be?
He was adopted, found in a river in a little reed basket by some...
Why would... I guess his mom was just kind of lackadaisical and was out playing bridge with her friends and let the baby just drift down the river. Is that what happened?
Crack addict was in my version of the Bible.
Okay, folks, in the interest of brevity, I'll stop here. Exodus chapter 1, let me just jump ahead to verse 8. Now there arose a new king over Egypt who did not know Joseph, and he said to his people, "Look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply, and it happen in the event of war, that they also join our enemies and fight against us, and so go up out of the land. Therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were in dread of the children of Israel. So the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with bondage. Okay, and so the point is, the children of Israel, their population's growing at a fast clip such that Pharaoh is alarmed, if this continues, they're going to overthrow us. And so at some point, he gives the order that all the male children, he says to the midwives, all the male children you got to kill. And so when Moses is born, the mom doesn't want him, and so they put him in a basket, and then Pharaoh's daughter sees him, and that's how. Okay, so Again,
This is.
I guess Douglas Murray is telling the
It's just
Jewish
more
people
evidence
in
that,
Passover that no, you guys weren't enslaved. What are you talking? Moses didn't deliver you out of slavery. What are you talking about?
it's more evidence that the Bible just is not historically accurate.